thieving bastards. Dude, there's a lot going on in the world. Merry Christmas, by the way, everybody. Merry motherfucking Christmas. Life is better. Life is better, dude. Life is good. El Joe Mistletoe had a week. Fuck, it was hard. It was difficult. I didn't have very much money. And then I did a bunch of work. Spent a bunch of money. Hoping for that big payday. And then when I got the payday, I'm like, it seemed like I was counting my money. And it seemed the same as what I started with. And I'm like, fuck, dude. All butthurt. And then a couple of other little factors came into play that it all worked out. And I actually came out ahead. So it's like I started my week off down. I came out ahead. I'm like, I feel like really alert, really clear. I feel good. It's been fucking cold. It's been colder than fuck. Somebody posted on Facebook, it was colder here in Southern California in some places than it was in New York by a lot, dude. I think it was almost 20 degrees, dude. It's crazy. It's current events. They're talking about why aren't people at work? Why don't people want to work? Well, I broke this down recently. If you write it down and figure out how much it costs you to get out of bed. Let's say you don't own a vehicle, okay? If you don't own a vehicle, how much does it cost you to get out of bed? Say you have a job to go do. How much is it going to cost you to get on a bus or a train or ride a bike or whatever you're going to do to get there? How much does it cost? Because you're going to need to eat something. That's going to cost you money. You don't leave the house on an empty stomach. Could go do a day's work, or you shouldn't. Right? And like transportation. Like you bought the bike. You put tires on it. Like it costs you in some kind of way. If you like really add that shit up. And then most people are not riding a bike, dude. Your time is not worth it. It depends how close you live to your job, but like a career job is what you should be minded or working towards. It's going to cost you something to get there, right? Most people nowadays, if you started from nothing and you realize like, okay, this is what it pays, I have to live close to it because it's going to cost me this much to get there, and you're like trying to keep costs down, that's one thing. Most people after the pandemic already had their lives orchestrated and like set up in such a way, myself included, where you're going to drive to get where you needed to go, and it's cost you X amount of dollars. And so all that has to be taken into consideration. You got to remember, people at the bottom, like working wage people, say you're making, okay, right now, like inflation, everything's like really fucking crazy. Like some people make $200 a day, labor, but they don't work every day, dude. They're like, these are like skilled tradesmen, and they still get laid off, have to look for work. But let's just assume if it's $200, okay? That's what you're going to need at least, like, to save, to see an increase, to like put something aside for your future instead of just your food and your rent. You know what I mean? Or your vehicle if you have one. But like, so for me, like you get up, dude, a cup of coffee or medication. That costs $6 for me. When people say like, oh, I don't have any of that in my life. Well, you drink coffee, you do something, dude. You medicate yourself in some kind of way. I know somebody that has a big gulp every morning. Like that's what they do. That's their medication. There's caffeine content in there, and there's sugar and other things that are habit forming. Like you do something, dude. That costs you $2 or whatever. Like it costs you money, dude. Okay? And after I get something to eat, after I get everything I need, like, first of all, I'm going to just say it, dude. Like, I need weed to work. Like, I have to, especially if you work like a boring job. Like, if you're working in a factory or an assembly line or like janitorial or something where you doesn't require you to think as much as it does just like look at what you're doing. I don't have to think about taking this trash bag out, throwing it in the cart, and putting a new one in. I could just do that. And if I have 50 or 100 of them to do, I'm just going to boom, 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 do it. And I could like listen to music or do something else in my head. And that's where the weed comes in. Because it's going to make you 10 times happier. You're going to be more interested in the music you listen to. Me personally, I pay more attention to detail, right? So, to me, that's like a necessary thing. Plus, it motivates me. If like something goes wrong or extra workload gets heaped on me unexpectedly, you might get butthurt at first, but you're like, fuck it. You know what I mean? We're going to like have a little session and then go at it, dude. And if there's no session, you're like, what? Like you don't even have that like little crutch? The fuck, dude? If you don't have a crutch, you're just fucking hobbling around, dude. And that's actually 10 times more waste of energy than if you had a crutch. Like, people always talk about crutch. Yeah. Says somebody that's never been wounded before and needed a fucking crutch. Like, pretty sure, dude. Pretty sure. If you've ever nursed any kind of injury, you'd be grateful to have it, dude. You might not even be able to get along without it. You give me a good enough crutch, fuck, you could continue working like you're not even losing a step. You know what I mean? You really think about half the time who the fuck is saying what. It's all about control, people. Every single thing in life, politics, religion, scholasticism, this nice little platform we're looking through right now, every single thing, dude, has an agenda, and that agenda's end game is control, dude. At the very minimum, control of your money into my fucking pocket. At minimum, dude. There's like all kinds of other shit that goes along with it. The real motherfuckers, dude, the real evil motherfuckers out there, dude, are not even about nothing about money, dude. They're about fucked up spiritual principles. Do you know it says that in the Bible? First of all, I want to say this, dude, because I did gain a couple of hundred new subscribers, dude. I just want to say, like, this is obviously a channel. This is what I've noticed. Into like looking and seeing who's watching, who's what, who's woo, what does your shit look like, who is this person. I find, dude, there's a special type of person that is attracted up under the sound of my voice. If you are up under the sound of my voice, you're a fucking special kind of purpose, man. And there's a very special purpose you have. And that's probably why you've been sent here to hear any of this weird fucking random shit that I talk about and bounce back and forth. Like okay, so and it's a firm belief of me in this show that not just the Bible, but for me, because that's the one thing I focus on. I think spirituality is like kung fu. In kung fu, you're only allowed to choose 2 weapons to master, dude. Really one at a time. And when you master it, then you move on to another one. Because otherwise what ends up happening is you become a worker of many tools, but a master of none. Right? Or you're switching. You just keep switching. Everybody does that when you first get into martial arts. You're like, oh, side blades. Oh, hook swords. Oh, no, nunchucks. Oh, katanas. And oh, pole staff. Dude, pick 2, focus on it, and master. And I think like religion's the same way, right? Because there's just too much of it out there. Any one religion, dude, has so much in it that it takes all your concentration. Because concentration and focus. And so, mine has been put into the Bible. So that's what I use as a reference a lot on the show. And it says in the Bible, because I forgot what the fuck we were talking about. So I don't even know. What does it say in the Bible? What were we talking about? Oh gosh, Joseph. I forgot what we were talking about. Gosh darn it. Well, it doesn't matter. I forgot what we're talking about. Next topic, dude. If there was a surf spot, this is a real question, dude. If there's a surf spot called Satan's Dick, would you hit it, dude? What if you were walking down shark-infested waters, okay? Old, like, broken pier, like a pier that's been busted up from a hurricane, like broken fucking pylons with rebar sticking out every direction. And as you're walking down to the beach, like, people are walking back up with, like, broken boards and they're, like, bleeding out of their ass. You would just be like, oh, fuck. Would you hit it, dude? About peeling, perfect wave. All. No, dude, people do some crazy shit. A motherfucker swim damn great white sharks and shit. I've been seeing billboards lately for unregistered, unserialized guns. Like, build your own AR. And it's like, here's the thing, dude. It's a federal crime to have an unregistered, unserialized firearm of any kind. Any kind, dude. And it's like, okay, so you made that fucking weapon and, like, now you have it and everything, great. I guarantee if you had that in your car and you got pulled over, it'd be a fucking problem for you, dude. And I'll share an experience that I've had. Somebody was saying they didn't understand what white privilege meant. I don't understand. What does that even mean? It's the same as everything for everybody. And I'm going to give you a good example. I'm really into 6-shooters, cowboy guns, okay, black powder, okay? And I was really into building them from scratch. And especially when you get into, like, long guns, or any of them too, the rifles and shit too, but, like, you could make silver inlays and, like, really fucking, and brass too, dude, really cool shit and intricate designs. And they have a lot already that exists that you could just buy and put them in, like bees, owls, like all kinds of shit, dude, rattlesnakes. You know, like little, little relief, like metal things. You could take old coins and inlay those on there. But anyway, my son's teacher saw him at a weekend shoot. Thought it was disturbing, started snooping a little further, found that actually Dad had a felony for sales of marijuana back in over a decade ago, but you shouldn't have access to any firearms at all, like as a felon. And she just made a million phone calls, made a big fucking deal. Police came to my house. Deep, dude. Like, they were expecting to disarm somebody and maybe have problems, and you know what I mean? They went on to all my social media and shit, and right, they knew what they were dealing with, and they came accordingly, dude. And my house, like, now is pretty fucking cool. At the time, it was like really fucking cool, like a fucking museum, dude. And had like all this work and all the artwork, and they were just like, fuck. And like, it actually became a really cool conversation and very, like, very down to earth. I was not speaking to law enforcement. I was speaking to other fathers and men. And dude broke it down to me like, check this out, dude. I wouldn't expect anybody to give up this dollar amount of shit, dude. Thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollar worth of shit just to be destroyed. But I'm going to leave you with this. you could get right now, as we speak, just being a felon, in the nature of it being drugs, doesn't matter what, marijuana or whatever, any kind of firearm. He's like, if it shoots, it's a firearm. It doesn't matter, it's old, relic, antique, all that funny shit. It doesn't mean dick. He's like, you would be doing minimum of 7 years, dude, minimum, just for being charged in California with a felony gun, which is exactly what I would and should and could charge you with. And from this point on, that if I ever fucking pulled you over or came back here or anything, and you had one of these on you, dude, I would have no choice but to do that. And like, I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to know this and go from there. And that was white privilege. That was an example, because I just think, dude, that if, I mean, people are pretty cool here, but I don't know, dude. If I was like a hardcore gangster looking person, dude, or like a little bit darker skin, I feel like definitely if I didn't have the personality I have and was surrounded by the things I was surrounded with and able to engage them and make conversation and become like a human in their eyes. If you were just a person that was just overwhelmed, maybe caught like, didn't really like, dude, they would have fucking busted you for that, dude. And they never came back, never did anything. I did get rid of them too, because I didn't know that. I convinced myself, I lied to myself that it was a relic. It's not black powder. It doesn't, no, dude, no. It'll blow somebody's fucking head off, dude. Plain and fucking simple. I think even more so, dude. Definitely more painful, because they're non-jacketed. That means you're going to have molten lead in your bloodstream. Not good, dude. But anyway, I want to throw this in there for what it's worth. That one of the major reasons that Custer lost at the Battle of Little Bighorn, there's a lot of factors, but one thing that greatly helped the natives is that they were tremendously out. They had tremendous amount of firepower, more than the soldiers had. They outgunned the soldiers. They had better weapons, right? Like the soldiers had like bolt action, or not even bolt action. It was like a magazine that held a ball, powder, and shot. And had like two, it was like a cartridge, and you flipped them over, and you know what I mean? Like the Indians had lever action. Ta, 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 ta. You know what I mean? Like they had way more sophisticated guns than the soldiers. And I was thinking that is a classic example of how it was designed to work in this country and how it should be. The natives, the inhabitants, should have more firepower than the military, should have better shit than the military. Military should have generic indigent items where you sign your name on the line, here, this is what you get, until you can afford to buy your own better thing. And you know what I mean? And that makes sense. That's how it should be. And just food for thought, dude. I'm not taking any opinion either way. It's a touchy subject. I'm personally not allowed to be armed by the law standard, and I'm just saying that, think about that shit for a second though, dude. The only reason they were successful is because they outgunned the military, dude. And that's how it should be, dude. That's how it should be. Just thinking about it. Oh yeah, unregistered, unserialized. You're seeing these like billboards for unserialized. Like, what? That doesn't fucking mean shit. That didn't mean shit to those boys that came to the house that day. That's what I'm saying. They don't write that on the billboard. They're like, build your own AR and this and that. And yeah, they sell you the shit and you buy all the parts and you have it. But if you get caught with that, you're fucked, dude. You're federally fucked. If you had drugs or even the weed and that, you could be federally fucked, dude. You know what I mean? Just by it not having the serial number, dude. Or being registered. You're federally fucked. You're not a fucking arms manufacturer. It doesn't tell you that on the billboard, though. You know what I mean? It just says, like, unserialized, unregistered. I'm like, what? That's like a good way to get people in a lot of fucking trouble. I've been seeing this a lot lately, though. Unregistered, unserialized, build your own, less than lethal, legal to carry in all 50 state firearm. And it's like this cool little Glock looking pistol, dude. I don't know if it shoots those fucking exploding charges that shatter on impact or salt rock or what, but it looks cool, dude. That could be the new thing, dude. Because that'll still stop somebody from attacking you, but won't kill him. You know? If that guy that just caused all that controversy, if he had less than lethal rounds in his gun, I guarantee it would have put those people on their ass, and they would have thought that they got shot and were dead, and he would have been safe to get away or whatever, and you wouldn't have had that controversy. I don't know. Dude. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, so the explosion video, dude. Go check it out, dude. My explosion video, it's fucking so fucking hilarious and fucked up and embarrassing of like what a shitty dad I am. You hear Wonder Dad from like 2 miles away say, like really far as fuck. And then you hear my son who's doing the camera work like close, like right up on it, like, kaboom. It's like, damn, dude. That was like, you know what I did? This is how, if you need something blown up, dude, you want El Joe to do the fucking explosion job, I'm not the guy, dude. Anybody will tell you that. Like, no, he's not, explosions are not his thing, dude, for sure. Not my forte. I put enough in there that I was expecting the lid on the top of the thing to hop up. I wanted it enough to go boom and pop the roof off and maybe set it back down cockeyed a little bit. Boom! And then a big crack and then, you know, the whole thing smoking. That's what I was going for. What I got was total oblivion. Boom! Dude, you could not even find a solid piece of that gingerbread house. It was pulverized into dust, dude. Even the plastic fucking little base that it was sitting on shattered, dude, into a million pieces. I was like, oh my god, this shit would have blown somebody's fucking hand or head off, dude. It's crazy, dude. The guy that delivers the water in the water truck, he's missing 3 fingers, dude. Like all of it, like all of his fingers is just like a couple of stubs and a thumb. And I'll bet you it was fucking fireworks, dude, when they were kids. It happened to me one time. I had a box of bottle rockets, dude. It was like a little thin, skinny box, and there was a whole bunch of them in there, right? And one of the fucking fuses was sticking out of the end of the box. Like I tore a corner of the plastic out so I could pull out one at a time. And I'm holding the box, I'm holding the bottle rockets, you know, by the end of the stick, and you watch the wick, and when it gets in and just as it's about to take off, you could let it go. And without burning you, it'll go. Well, so I'm doing that and having a good old time, and I got the whole brick, dude, in the other hand, like here. And I lit one, and I literally watched, like, you know how the fucking fuse looks like a sparkler where it's shooting little sparks? So it's doing that, and I saw one of the little sparks go from that one to the little wick that was sticking out of the pack. I didn't even notice was sticking out until it caught. I saw that little ember go whoop. I like followed it with my eyes. I was like, whoa, whoop. And I saw it catch that wick. And then that one went tsh, and I was like, oh shit. And I threw it up like that. And I know it was out of my hand. I'm not sure how far away it was, but it made 3 huge explosions. I remember just seeing 3 huge flashes. Boom, boom, boom! Right in front of my face. Couldn't hear anything. And I don't know if it was because it was near my hand or because I put my hand up like that. But this outside of the whole bottom of this, dude, of my palm, bottom of my pinky finger, all that, the whole length of my hand was burned, dude. Bad. Real bad. All the skin was off, dude. Bubbled up. Fuck, 3rd degree burn, dude. Gnarly, dude. It hurt so bad that I just like, all I could do is put it in between my legs, in between my thighs, and squeeze as hard as I could, dude. Like, to give it like some kind of relief, and just walked, dude, with that thing in between my thighs, squeezing as hard as I can, hunched over, like, God, for like a mile, dude. Had to have been. I could like, it takes me like 20 minutes to walk a mile. Like, I easily did that for 20 minutes. And then I realized, like, oh, fuck, you're going far, dude. Like, start walking back the other way. And, you know what I mean? And, like, I walked all the way back. Same shit, dude. That shit in between, like, And then I fucking... Dude, I went in. I fucking did some dope. Dude, I fucking did some more dope. It was excruciating, dude. Fucking burns are the worst, dude. But, you know what? Wonder Dad? I'll never do that again, dude. My fucking portion and ration control is fucked. Way off, dude. I overdo it, dude, when it comes to explosives. And we're buying, because here's the other thing, dude. That's what's so rad about Christmas, dude. Fireworks come out. Like, you get fireworks for Christmas. As soon as, like, Christmas Eve comes, you just hear fireworks here in Mexico. And that's, like, something that goes with Christmas, dude, is fireworks. And, like, that's a stocking stuffer. That's, like, a thing. And, like, that's one thing I love about Mexico that's really fucking awesome. The only thing is, like, there's a fine line, dude, because you're literally burning money. And it's all fun and games until, like, the older you get, you're, like, literally, like, counting out. You're like, oh, that's $1.75, that's $2, like, $2, $2. You know what I mean? You're like, Dad, can we have this? You're like, those things are $3.50 each. No, fuck no. No, those are for adults only. You know, they got, like, these Roman candles, dude. It's like a fat straw that you hold in your hand, and it shoots these sparkling glitter balls that go up and they bust, boom, into a bunch of, a shower of sparks, what they call, I guess. They go and crackle down. And it do that like 6 times, like 6 balls in each one, you know? Like each one says there's some that have, 8, some that have 5, some that have 6 or whatever. I've seen some long motherfuckers. Dude, they have sparklers. You'll see like big ass sparklers, dude. Like they're like that thick. They look like welding rods, dude. Actually, they look like welding rods. And they're long, dude, like 3 or 4 feet long. You know, like you get a piece of heavy ass gauge wire in the middle when it's done. Those big ass sparklers, dude, those are cool. The kids love those. That's a big Christmas item, dude. But anyway, life is good, dude. Almost got all the Christmas shopping done. I'm doing a lot of models. World War II tank models. Gundam. Got paint set, dude, for the models. Like the acrylic paint, dude, that fucking is like super toxic. The good shit. And I'm going to go buy some more. I'm going to get some... what's that thing called? Freddy Faz Bear? It's like this horror show. Dude, what's up with kids? This is what's scary, dude. All the kids, dude, the younger generation, 7, 8, 9, 10, into the tween. All of their little stuff, dude, is all like sick, psycho fucking fantasy shit, dude. Like the Freddy Faz Bear thing. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese characters that go rogue and kill the kids and take them inside of their fucking Chuck E. Cheese body. Like it's a giant Chuck E. Cheese animatronic doll, but somehow gets like this human dead body stuffed in there. And that's how they fucking operate. It's weird, dude. Nick Cage made a movie where they had like, it was very similar to this shit. Just came out. It was just like it was like Five Nights at Freddy or some shit. You know what I'm talking about? But like, what the fuck is that, dude? Like the kids are on like some kind of like very disturbing and violent, weird shit, dude. I'm just noticing. There's something else, too. It's not the... like Among Us. Just take Among Us, for instance. The whole premise of it is that there's somebody among us that's not what they say. Everything is false and treacherous and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very telling. And you guys know how I feel about the humanities, dude, and how that art in all its forms, music, writing, video games, television, anything, dude, that human beings have to create and use creativity to make is a reflection, a direct window into what people were thinking, how they were feeling, and what the values were of that time. And we can look back in history. There's no like consent, there's no like theories and shit. There's a general consensus amongst academia that like this is what it was. We have names for it: the Renaissance, the Dark Ages, the Age of Reason, the Golden Age, like, you know, postmodernism, the Industrial Revolution. Like, we have names for every single fucking part of history, dude. Because, and what makes one deserving of a name and separate from the others, like what's the difference between 1492 and 1496? But the Renaissance started, you know, 1 year before that is not considered the Renaissance. Well, that's because something changed about the way people felt, and you begin to see in all these forms of art, it was this way. People were saying and acting and feeling this way, boom, 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 boom. And then all of a sudden, a new idea came along that nobody had ever heard of before. And that's what marks a new era, a new, like, you know what I mean? And that's what, and then the name for it is coined and so on and so forth. And that's the humanities. The study of all those things is called the humanities. And so as a student of the humanities, I'm telling you that the shit that the kids are into right now is all based in showing perpetration of a fraud and having to figure out what's real and what's not. And everything is one creature that feels a certain way and looks a certain way on the outside and is really controlled or exists a creature that's different on the inside. And then a lot of it is creatures being subjugated and used in a way, or being stuck in a spot where they don't want to be. And right, that's crazy shit, yes? And that's what I just remembered too. I remember what I was going to say before. This is really important, dude. This is what it says in the Bible. Because you think that a lot of people get it fucked up, that we're fighting against, like, the flesh. Or like, you know, I want to keep eating, and so I fight against the flesh, not, you know, getting fat. Or I don't want to do drugs, but then here it was, and I was weak. You know, the flesh is weak, so I'm fighting against the flesh. That's not the truth. That's just small, stupid little things that we go through. That has nothing to do. It says very clear in the Bible, we warreth not against the flesh, but against spiritual wickedness, principalities and powers that dwell in high places. Principalities, powers, spiritual wickedness that dwells in high places. So that means ideas, theories, mentalities, dude, of certain ways to be, things to control. There's usually bad behavior, death, destruction, that the perpetrator feels justified in because they're working towards this goal or this belief. You know, like Hitler was a evil principality and a power that believed in, you know, racial superiority, and he fought against a spiritual entity, Judaism, that he really feels in his heart need to be extinguished. They're fighting against, and I'm sure some of them were overeaters and drug addicts and all that shit, but that was not their battle. Their battle was against a principality and a power, a spiritual wickedness that dwells in a high place. What is that high place? Heaven, the airwaves, the afterlife, the heather, whatever it is beyond where we're at. Because we all know there's something beyond where we're at, or we wouldn't be creating religions and even having this conversation at all. So think about that for a minute, dude. Because it does. It says that in the Bible, dude. And I do believe that's true. Because if it wasn't true, then you wouldn't have things like recovering addicts, right? Or gastric bypass surgery, where you fix the person and then through a combination of changed behaviors and action and mentality, they become a totally different person and they never fucking look back, right? Some of them fall right back, right? Not everybody survives, but for the ones that do survive, that's proof that you're not warring against the flesh. Because then you wouldn't have any of these little victories over it, right? There wouldn't be anybody taking no victory lap. It's not the flesh, dude. It's principalities and powers, dude. Spiritual wickedness. People that feel a certain way and they will absolutely destroy and do evil things in order to advance that way, dude. And that's what we fight against as human beings. Not against the flesh or ourselves. That's just survival instincts and stupid things of the, genetic imprint of evolution and whatnot. Hey, like, subscribe, share, that'd be nice. I'd like to start doing some lives, but whatever, dude. Most importantly, dude, stay fucking golden. Showers.